Hi there, this is Unmesh from Imperfections, and today I'm going to share with you how to remove shadows faster. Way faster, maybe about 10 to 20 times faster. You see, 10 months ago, we created a video on removing shadows by using a soft round brush, and we dodged on the shadow areas. While that might be an excellent technique and create amazing results, however, it can take a very long time, somewhere between 1 to 4 hours, depending upon the image or the shadow that you're working with. While experimenting with different techniques and looking at different ways of doing certain things, I figured out a much more efficient way to do it that you can use to remove the exact same shadow that can take you about 3 to 4 hours in just 10 minutes. So let's get straight to the technique. So without any further ado, let's get started. So here we are back in the brilliant world of Photoshop, and if you want to go ahead and download this photo and follow along, you guys already know what to do. Check the links in the description. So here we have the same image that we used 10 months ago in that previous video. And in that video, we took a brush and slowly and gradually dodged every single area. And you can imagine how long it could take to get the skin to be absolutely flat and also at the same time not look too flat that it becomes a flat cartoon, right? So the best way to get rid of this is to realize that shadows create even darkness throughout the shadow area. What does that mean? Have a look at this photo very closely. The hand is blocking the light in those areas. Have a look at these areas. In these areas, the hand is blocking the light. Now, the light will be blocked equally in all of these areas. So why should we take a small brush and paint over it so very gradually that it can take so much time to get it equally brightened when this is already equally darkened? So instead of doing that, let's do this. First, all we have to do is to make a rough selection of the shadow. You don't have to be accurate here, just zoom in. And with the help of the polygonal lasso tool, I'm going to use that. You can also use lasso tool if that's your favorite. So click and hold right here, choose the polygonal lasso tool. You can also use pen tool if you want to be super accurate, but that is not necessary. So let's start making the selection. Always keep in mind, stay inside even the shadow transition. So quickly make a selection. Look how fast this is. Whoops, I messed up. No problem. All we have to do is to hold the Shift key and add it. No problem here. We always need to show the mistakes in the videos as well. Now let's finish the selection from here. Release the Shift key and finish it. That is added too. We can always subtract that. Hold the Alt key or the Option key for the -1 and then just subtract that area. No problem. Let's brighten it. So click on the adjustment layer icon and then choose curves. Now the curves is going to load up with that active selection as a mask, as you can see right here. Now you have guessed already what we are going to do. So click on the middle, create a point and take it up. We need to brighten that area. So about this much looks fine to me. Now the colors can be distracting while removing shadows. So for that, let's take away the colors momentarily, and we can easily do that by clicking on the adjustment layer icon and then choosing solid color. Choose any shade of gray. The saturation has to be 0. That's fine. Hit OK and change the blend mode from normal to color. That's going to take away the colors momentarily, and there's a science behind why we do it this way. And you can watch more about check layers in this video. But for right now, let's focus on this. Do you think the brightness levels are fine? If not, simply open up the curves properties by double clicking on the adjustment layer icon and then adjust this point. Now I know there's harsh outline and harsh edge that we need to take care of. Don't worry about that right now. Now as you can see, the original shadow edge is blurry, right? So look at the shadow. The edge is blurry, the transition is smoother. So what do we do to make the transition smoother or to blur the edge? Simply blur it, right? So with the mask selected, click on the filter and then blur, and inside of blur, Gaussian blur. About a value of 8 is fine. You can adjust the value according to your taste. For this example, 8 looks fine to me. Hit OK. There's still that edge. We need to definitely work on that. First of all, there are 2 ways that you can approach this. Number 1, you can simply take the brush and start dodging those areas. Or what you can do, you can also try this. This is a new technique. You can use the smudge tool. So if you click and hold on the blur tool, in that group, you will see the smudge tool. Strength 50% is fine. With the small smudge tool brush, just try to bring it out and match it. In some places, it works wonders. Have a look at this. Zoom out and have a look. Alright, so that's one way. As you can see, that's also very easy to do in certain areas as well, like this area. You can just push it outside and match with the shadow. But for most of the areas, you need to do it with the brush. But right now, we don't need to take the brush and do it slowly and gradually over all of the areas. All we need to cover is the edge areas, and that's it. So with the brush selected, decrease the flow to about 4 or 5%. So I'm going to choose 4% for me. Flow right there. Make sure the mask is selected. White as the foreground color. And just start painting on the edge. That's it. I think we need to increase the brightness, so open up the curves properties and zoom out and then try to match the brightness. Once you're satisfied, just minimize it and just get back to the brush and brighten up the edges. Select the mask. At the moment, as you can see, the shadows are completely gone. Isn't that amazing? The only little hard work we had to do was working on the edges. Now, once you're done, just turn off or delete this luminosity check layer. I'm just gonna click and drag it to the trash can, and there you have it. Let's take a look. Here's the before and here is the after. Now, you can take more time if you want to create one more curves adjustment layer for dodging and burning and correct or soften some more areas if you want to, but to me, it looks perfect. If certain areas don't look right to you, I'm just gonna save time and do this. I'll simply press Ctrl, Alt, Shift and E to create a stamp visible layer at the top and then choose the patch tool right there. For me, this area looks a little odd, so I won't bother too much. I'll just select that area and drag it to an area of my choice. And there you go, that area is now fixed. Anything that doesn't look right to you, to me, this image looks perfect. But if you feel that there are some areas that just don't look right, you can just select that area and drag it to the preferred area of your choice, and you, my friend, are done for the day. Let's do a quick little recap. First of all, create a selection of the shadow. You can use any of your favorite selection tools. Just keep in mind that you have to stay inside the transition of the shadow. Once you have made the selection, once the selection is active, click on the adjustment layer icon in the layers panel and then choose curves. Now the curves will be created with that active selection as a mask. Brighten up the shadow with the help of curves, and then you're gonna see some hard edge, so we need to blur it, right? So with the mask selected, go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. Apply appropriate blur, you'll be fine. And then after that, with the help of the brush tool or the smudge tool, you can select the mask and match the shadow with that of the line or the edges that you see. When you're using the brush, use a very low flow. Also, sometimes colors can be distracting, so you can create a luminosity check layer at the very top by simply creating a solid color adjustment layer and changing the color to any shade of gray and change the blend mode to color. You can turn it off or on at the end or simply delete it. I hope this video helped you, and if it did, make sure to give us a like, and also don't forget to subscribe, and not just subscribe, ring the bell so that you, my friend, don't miss any other future tips, tricks or tutorials. I would love to take this moment to thank all these nice and amazing people for supporting this channel on Patreon and help me keep Piximperfect free for everybody forever. Thanks so much for your support. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys again in my next one. Till then, stay tuned and make sure that you keep creating.